Welcome to 18th Century Cooking. I'm your host, John Townsend. We're at a special location today. Today we'll be doing a recipe that's, well, you could almost call it pumpkin bread, but not the pumpkin bread you're probably thinking of. Thanks for coming along with us as we savor the flavors and the aromas of the 18th century. We're shooting at Martin Station in Ewing, Virginia. We've got a special guest, Dee Herzig. So normally when you have a pumpkin bread, you think about pumpkin bread, you think about one of those dense, heavy, like a banana bread or a nut bread. It's one of those, it's a quick bread and it's dense and heavy. This is not that kind of pumpkin bread. It's more like a regular bread that uses that pumpkin water. I like this recipe because it's one that feels like you were going to throw this out, but we're going to use it for something. So later on, we're going to be doing a pumpkin pie, and we need those stewed pumpkins.
Yes.
But here we're going to use that stewed pumpkin water. We've got a bucket full of water here, and we've already got our pumpkin that's been. Go ahead and toss it in. Already been. We peeled it. We took the cover off the outside. Take the seeds off the outside. Of course, we're going to use those later on. We're probably going to bake those and eat those. Those are great. But this pumpkin's going to go on the fire, and we're going to let it cook for, well, I think the recipe says till it's clammy.
Yeah.
Right. So let's go ahead and get these on the fire.
Okay.
So to give us a clue about exactly where this is going, let me read this recipe for you really quick. This is out of William Ellis's Country Housewife's Family Companion. This is 1750. To make bread that will keep moist and in a good very long. Slice a pumpkin, boil it in fair water till the water grows clammy or somewhat thick. Then strain it through a fine cloth or sieve, and with this make your bread, well kneading the dough, and it will not only increase the quantity, but keep it moist and sweet a month longer than bread wetted with water only. It says, one author says, an excellent sort of bread. Another says, it is more especially so for those who desire cooling, being good for loosening the belly, which everyone needs, and somewhat of a yellower color and fatter than common bread. So it doesn't make a pumpkin-y tasting bread, but a better sort of bread. So here's our pumpkin water, right?
Yep.
We took it off the fire. We ran it through a sieve, so it's just sort of this yellow pumpkin water, so it's not, that thick stuff that you'd use for a pumpkin pie. So we're going to make our bread with this, and they don't say exactly what kind of bread to make.
Nope.
So we're making the simplest, most bready bread there is in the 18th century, which is made with just 3 components. We need flour, we need water, which we're going to be using our pumpkin water, we need yeast and salt. That's all there is to this bread, this kind of bread, we can play it by ear. This is a country bread that isn't going to be, perfect. I'm not sure exactly how much flour we've got here. We got some wheat flour, and it might be a pound and a half of flour. So go ahead and add what you think is the right amount of salt. Oh, that's perfect. There's our salt. We're going to mix that around in here, and we're going to kind of make a little mountain, and it's got a kind of a dimple in the middle of it. We need our yeast, and in this case, they would have probably used a barm that they've gotten from the brewer. We've made our substitute for barm, which is a modern yeast in a little bit of warm water. We let it proof a little bit, kind of puff up. That's a great substitute for period barm. We're just going to pour some in the middle there. They might have used a cupful of barm. That's the yeast that comes off the top as you're brewing beer. So, and then we're going to add, let's see how that mixes in with that amount of water. We're going to add in our pumpkin water until we feel like we've got about the right amount. We're going to, again, play that by ear. So, Dee, do you make bread very often here at the fort? What kind of bread do you guys usually make?
Well, we actually use your recipe for the 18th century no-knead French bread.
Oh, that French bread is so good.
It is, and it's a big popular bread here at Martin Station. All of the reenactors that come here, they absolutely love it. And we've made up to as many as 18 loaves in one day here.
Right here in this oven?
Right here in this oven.
18 loaves, and that's a lot to get through an oven like that.
Oh, yes.
So we've kneaded this vigorously. It's ready to we can set it in our bowl, cover it up, set it by the fire, and let it rise for an hour or so, maybe a couple hours, depending on how it starts to puff up, how warm it is in there.
Yep.
But we can just set it there, right there in the nook of the fire. It'll stay nice and warm, and we can get to let that rise. Tastes like a wonderful bread. It is nice and moist, but it doesn't have a real pumpkin-y flavor. Now,
But it's an excellent bread.
yeah. So unfortunately, we don't have a chance to test this to see if it's good a month later. You know, maybe I
Yeah.
should make a loaf of this and test it a month later and see how it matches up to your standard loaf of bread. You know, but usually we're so hungry we want to eat it up right away.
Oh yeah.
It's a great way, though, to use up that pumpkin water. You were going to make your pumpkin pie. You weren't going to toss that pumpkin water out. You were going to use it to make even yummier bread.
Yes.
Dee, thank you so much for hosting us here at Martin Station. Such an amazing site to visit. Tell me about, you got an upcoming event coming?
Yes, we do. In May 2020, it is our 20th anniversary of the raid at Martin Station, which is always a big event.
Yeah.
It brings all different people from all over the nation. We're expecting a really big crowd, so bring the family out on May 8th, 9th, and 10th.
It'll be great. Thank you so much for coming along with us as we try these things out, as we're savoring the flavors and the aromas of the 18th century. Again, thanks so much. Thanks for watching today.